Welcome back, Shalligators. Olivia Jade's incredibly ill-advised Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith and her group of people. And, there's so much to learn. There's so much to unpack. There's not really just one topic I want to talk about with this because there's so many different things. But basically, we're going to focus on two different things: accountability and authenticity. Accountability. How do you know if someone who is trying to apologize to you, saying, hey, things are going to be different, how do you know if they actually are? How do you know if they're just on sort of like a PR campaign, Olivia, or how to know if change has actually been enacted? And in terms of authenticity, did Olivia Jade's sort of cowardliness and lack of authenticity lead her into absolute doom and her parents into prison? We're going to break it all down. But first, just want to remind you guys to follow me on Instagram at shallonxo. Also, please follow my fan account, Quotes by Shallon, because Nicole, who runs it, she's doing an incredible breakdown of this whole thing, and she's reposting your DMs about it, and I'm going to read some of them here too because they're really good. Also, head to my website where you can submit a question to me. You can donate to our fundraiser. We're trying to raise $2,000 for some kiddos at a Baptist church in New York City and some seniors too. And you can also shop my new merch line. We've got a jogger set, a revenge hoodie, we've got an ugly sweater, and more drops coming every few days. And first, a word from our sponsor. Ho, 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 Shalligators. 'Tis the busiest season of the year. 'Tis the season for togetherness. But togetherness used to mean something like tons of parties, fantastic Christmassy Tinder dates. Now, though, it might mean a little bit more quality time with the same people you've been enjoying quality time with for the last 8 months. Yay! It's understandable that you might need a break. And while traveling or getting out and about isn't exactly on the agenda right now, it doesn't mean you can't enjoy yourself. I escape through podcasts, audiobooks, my favorite songs, and I do it with Raycon earbuds. I have tried AirPods, Beats by Dre, random janky things I got at CVS when I was desperate, and nothing offers the noise isolation that these Raycons do. I also love these Raycon earpods because they're half the price of everything else you find on the market, and truly they're so much better. They have 6 hours of playback, seamless Bluetooth pairing, they come in a variety of colors, and did I mention the noise isolation? And Raycon is being extra generous this holiday season, offering all of my followers 15% off their already super low and affordable prices, which means you can give these as a gift and have some jingle in your pocket left over to treat yourself. So click the link in the description box or go to buyraycon.com/shallonxo for 15% off. So this Red Table Talk, first of all, the Red Table Talk. When did Jada's show become where cowards go for refuge, right? We saw Jordan Woods go on there and play every card she possibly could, except for the, yeah, I tried to hook up with my friend and employers. That's the part that gets me. Chloe was not only her friend, she was her employer, her baby daddy. So I feel like Red Table Talk, like Jada, it's like she speaks slowly and looks right at the camera in hopes of distracting us from her mealy-mouthed, softball, whack questions. Jada, I see it. I see through you. Honey, you are no Oprah, okay? I just feel like she brings these people on here and she's like, I'm gonna hold their feet to the fire. You gave her a foot fucking massage. So Grammy, Jada's mom, was on there too and was like, oh, I fought this fucking interview tooth and nail. I don't want this to happen. And she, the whole time, she was like, can you imagine that woman being mad at you? Look at her. She's like Aslan from Chronicles of Narnia. She's like this like regal lioness. I wouldn't want her mad. Her hair matches her shirt. All right, mine does too. Maybe we have so much in common. So this interview, I don't know why Olivia did it. I don't know why she did it. So both her parents are in federal prison right now. And, you know, they fought that tooth and nail. Like, they couldn't just take the L like Felicity Huffman did and was like, yeah, I did it. My kids are dumb. I had to buy their way into college. I'm so sorry. She took the L. She moved on. Her career's going to bounce back. Lori Loughlin was like, nope, we're not guilty. Nope. And you can see, though, that lack of accountability obviously trickled down to her idiot daughter. So if you don't know who Olivia Jade is, she's an influencer. Ugh. I am also an influencer. and a YouTuber, as she is. I just don't understand the mystique about this girl. She looks both very old and very young at the same time, right? She looks like, to me, she looks like she's had a lot of plastic surgery. And yeah, you know, we're going to talk about her looks because this, I swear there's a point, to me, she's just so mediocre. She's just so like average. I'm like, what is so enticing about this girl that so many people follow her? And that, like, where has she gotten the idea that she's literally so special? She's not eloquent. I've watched her video. She's not funny. We know she's not educated or intelligent. She's not insightful. She's just sort of there. And she's pretty, but she's like young. She's literally just young. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I think that's what, like, the vibe for her overall is. It's like, I don't get where this hubris is coming from with you, girl. That you are flipping off the camera on social media, that you're buying your way into USC. I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. So this was the scandal. So her mom paid like $500,000 to get her dumb ass into USC. And one thing Olivia said during this interview, she kept trying to play the ignorance card. I didn't know. You know what, girl? That's a lie, because you posed on that rowing machine. It all comes back to the rowing machine photo. So that's how Olivia got into USC. She was a rower. She rowed crew. And some of you guys had said to Nicole, like when you're DMing her on the fan account Quotes by Shallon, it's like, well, I mean, maybe she just rows at the gym. I row at the gym. Yeah. But there were snippets from emails in print, like an idiot. Emails being like, hey, it'd be really helpful if we could get Olivia to pose on a rower and pretend she's an athlete. I mean, they used these words. So this was not something she didn't know about. If your mom was like, honey, do you think, hey, maybe let's just go out in the backyard and you can take this javelin, right? And you could be like, rah, and you could like pretend like you're throwing it at something. You'd be like, what are you talking about? Why would I do that? You would know why you were doing it. Is your mom taking you to the gym? It's like, hey, do you want to just like sit on the rowing machine and I'm just going to take pictures? Girl, come on. But then she like negates that ignorance argument by saying like, well, this is just what everyone does. Okay, let me read you some of these quotes. I just thought it was what privileged kids do. I was misled by someone who I thought was a college admissions counselor. All the kids in my circle do this. I didn't see the problem. Well, which is it? You were misled or you didn't see the problem? Because they're not the same thing, right? It all just boils down to blame shifting. It was him, it was her, it was the counselor, it was my parents, it was all the other kids. I don't know. So it's pretty obvious that Olivia has not learned any lessons from this. And this goes back to, why did you do this interview to begin with? In my mind, this is kind of old news. You know, I feel like it's just been covered ad nauseum, blah, blah, blah. I really don't give a shit about this scandal anymore. I mean, it still is annoying. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous and infuriating. But like, we've got bigger fish to fry. There's another lockdown coming, blah, blah, blah. So why she would stir this pot up again, kick up all this dust and go on the Red Table Talk just to lie. That's what fucks me up. Because I know what some of my haters are saying right now. Wow, Shallon, you're sitting here saying Olivia doesn't take responsibility or accountability. Neither do you for things people have said about you. I know that. I never pretended I was going to. I didn't go to Jada's Red Table Talk and say, I was so nervous to be here. I was like, bah, 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 my heart. And, you know, I just really want to explain. I didn't say that. I don't feel the need to explain. You don't like me, don't watch. There's the explanation. If you're going to say you're apologizing, maybe apologize or simply say nothing. But this is, I think this is why people are mad and like talking about this, is because like, she didn't, like, this isn't a deposition. No one dragged her into court. She didn't have to say any of this shit. She purposely put herself out there only to lie again. And then it's like, ugh, like clear, proof positive. You've learned nothing from this girl. And she had all this time, right? This has been going on for what, a year and a half? I feel like we've been hearing about this since the dawn of time. She had all this time to come up with a relevant argument. And this is what she went with? Like this back and forth and looping nonsensical self-negating arguments. Honey, at least fake a brain tumor. Did you not consider that? Oh, I don't know. It was a brain tumor and then just went away. That's why I acted like that. Do I have to do everything around here, Olivia? So I think it was very, very strange that she went on there. And of course, people were talking about the aspect of white privilege. And I think this is why she went on there, because she is following what's trendy, and what's trendy is explaining white privilege, right? And white people apologizing for their white privilege and everything. And it's like, I first of all don't understand where this gets anybody. You know, for this girl to go on here and act like she knows anything about anyone else's life outside of her own, not even bothering to pretend she's actually sorry. It's like, what was the fucking point of this? How does this move any conversation forward? And honestly, I think it reflects super poorly on Jada. Like, oh, I'm going to show this privileged white girl what's up. No, you fucking didn't. No, you didn't. You kowtowed to her the way you kowtowed to Jordan Woods. So it's actually not a race thing about you like bending over for these culprits you have on your show. Maybe that's just you. Maybe you're just like an obsequious fawning toady, and anyone you have on there, you're just going to kind of blithely agree with, white or black. So it's just weird. And it's also pretty rich that Jada Pinkett Smith, who married Will Smith and who has this platform arguably because Will's celebrity, and of course Jada was a star in her own right, but I mean, you literally don't get bigger than Will Smith. He is, based on Q Score, the biggest celebrity in the world. He is. For you to talk about privilege when your daughter Willow had a record deal when she was 7. Jada. I get that this is simply the world of the rich. And one of you guys made a really good point on Nicole's Quotes by Shallon's page. The difference between Willow and Olivia is there's enough record deals to go around. Like, okay, Willow gets a record deal. There's more to go around. Olivia took a spot away from some hardworking, deserving person at USC who now doesn't get to go there. Like, there really are only so many seats at that table, and that's what's fucked up. And there's so many people that wrote into Nicole's, and I'm sure mine, my DMs are a mess, and I can't check them all. I'm sorry, I don't. If you really want to, like, send me a message or get through to me, leave a comment on my Instagram. Those I see. DMs, I literally get thousands, okay? I'm sorry. But yeah, like, so many of you guys wrote in and were like, it's infuriating to watch someone leapfrog ahead knowing how much work I did to get into my college, the sleeplessness, all the extracurriculars, like, to get even to below where she has a school below USC or something. It's true. It's unconscionable. And girls, we have felt this a lot. Maybe you felt this in terms of college admissions where, yeah, you watch the rich kids. Maybe their grades are good, but maybe their grades are good because they could afford the tutors, right? And they didn't have to work an after-school job. And hey, there's more peace in their house because they're a 2-family household and you have a single mom, so you have to help out. And so your grades suffered a little bit. And maybe you guys got in the same school, but you couldn't afford to go there and they could. I watched that all the time at my high school. Most kids from my high school went to USC. So, like, that's why I was also very invested in this story, because I'm like, And it's like, it was disgusting to me when this story broke, but it absolutely wasn't surprising. It wasn't surprising at all. And we see this, and we are going to see this for the rest of our lives. And this is why things like this kick up so much in us, because we know it's not an isolated incident. And we know that incarcerating Aunt Becky from fucking Full House, it's not doing much to even the playing field. Because we get out there in the real world, I can't tell you how many stupid, arrogant, lazy, irredemptive, worthless, dipshit white men got the jobs I was qualified for. Or maybe we had the same job and they got paid more. How do I know this? I would open their pay stubs. Sorry that the mailroom doesn't know how to deliver mail properly in the office, and I would get so-and-so's pay stub. Let's open this. Oh, we're going to be transparent in this office? Why are you making $25,000 more a year than I am, and we're the same position? And if you haven't experienced that yet, or you think that's false, man, I'm really sorry. My My heart hurts for the day when you realize how right I am. I hope I'm not. But ladies, if you're out there in the working world, you know that I am. This is just how it goes. And it doesn't mean we shouldn't fight it when we see it, but that's why we get so mad, is because this is just another brick in the fucking wall for us, right? And and I just think it's so dumb for her to go on this show and just bleh, spew out these things. And it seems the big theory is she's doing this because her influencing career is basically evaporated. I mean, it hasn't though. She still has millions and millions of subs and followers and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, she lost her Sephora deal. I think though, if she, had she just laid low, let all this burn out, wait a year or two, she would have gotten another deal. She would have gotten a whatever. But when you double down on your fuckery and you open up only to lie, do you think people can't see that? I think that my popularity has endured because I am super real and it's not what everyone thinks I should say or how I should behave. Fuck you. Fuck them. I don't care. You don't like it, don't watch. You're not even paying to be here, right? Remember that. Everyone should remember that. Everyone's a guest. So I think though that my authenticity hopefully is like, you know, something people connect to, because the inverse is Olivia's complete baloney and how incredibly repellent it is. But let's talk about authenticity, because this is something you guys brought up because I asked you to put it on my Instagram, like, what do you think about this? What are topics? And it came up again and again. She never even wanted to go to USC. And she said that in the interview. She said in clips, you know, I want to go to college for like the parties and the lifestyle, but I don't really care about school. Oh, you guys know that. Like, she didn't ever really pretend that she was a scholar. And I can't blame her. Some people are just born to be dumb, you know? I don't mean like, oh, you have a low IQ and this is just how you are. You can't help that, of course. What a gift to be a dumb, pretty woman. Honestly, is it not a curse to be a smart, pretty woman? What a nightmare. The world hates us. Anyway, like, she's never going to be that intellectual. She's just not. She's not an intellectual. She is, though, very, very successful. So I don't blame her for looking at college like a 4-year big pause button on a career and a day-to-day life that's probably extremely busy. I know how busy I am at my level. I mean, there's truly not enough hours in the day. The other night, I was so stressed. You know, I'm doing Vlogmas, a video every day. I'm really going to try to make it happen. But these videos are just one part of like the octopus of like the Shallon Empire. You know, the octopus. Is this what I think an octopus looks like? Have I seen one? I don't know. I was like, it's 11 p.m. Maybe I should just make a bunch of coffee and stay up all night. No, that's not smart. But anyway, she's probably incredibly busy. And so for her to look at college, it's like, wait, I got to sit in class. I got to write essays. I got to do something. I have to show up. I have to like live there or something. I don't want to do that. I like my life. I'm my own boss. I'm making my own money. Why would I want to put that on pause? I get that. And had she said that to her parents, or maybe she did, but they didn't hear her. Had she been a woman and put her foot down and be like, I don't want to go to college. We're not doing this. None of this would have happened. And I think had she said that to her followers, been that authentic person, be like, you know what? College seems fun for the parties, but I really like my career. And obviously so many of us go to college to set us up for a good career, but I have one already. So it kind of feels like it would be backwards, or maybe a step rolling back. And hey, maybe later if I want to take some continuing ed classes and do a little 3-week class on Western Civ or learn German or whatever it is, I'll do that. But right now, college just isn't the right choice for me. College isn't the right choice for a lot of people, and that's completely fine. If you want to be a mechanic or do something, you know, more technical, college is not like the end all be all. It was definitely the right choice for me, but it doesn't have to be for everyone, right? So a big question you guys asked was, at what point does social inclusion needs flip and become something very harmful? Chef's kiss. This is why I love you guys. You guys are so fucking smart. Perky tits, shiny lips. I just love you guys, right? Oh, I meant to tell you, my hair, I got it like redded up a bit more. So I was using that color conditioner. I'll put it in the link there. It's like from Amazon. You can get it from Amazon. It comes in 18 shades. But I went to the salon and my friend like did it more permanently. This color is 6RC, which is like straight red, and then 6R. Those are like professional colors. It's not like preference, L'Oreal preference. So if you go to the salon, 6RC and 6R, and it was over like kind of brownish hair. Anyway. When do social inclusion needs flip and become something toxic? Because it was very telling that Olivia was like, well, I want to go for the parties and the this. She wanted to see herself as like, cool college girl, college Barbie. I was influencer Barbie and I'm college Barbie. And then maybe I'll be pilot Barbie and I'll crash a 747 and kill everyone. Right? I think it's very important. I don't know. How do I say this? Like, there's a difference between social inclusion needs and capture versus experience. The capture versus experience phenomenon is when you go to a concert and no one's actually watching it, they're all holding their phones up filming it. What in the fuck are you going to do with that footage? What are you going to do with that footage? Huh? Sell it to NBC? Nobody wants to watch that shit. Nobody wants to watch that. You are missing the experience because you're trying to capture it. And we all fall victim to that. And I have to remind myself, capture versus experience. Capture versus experience. And I got a real wake-up call about that, actually, from my best friend from college, Shelby. We were doing a sorority reunion. They look big, right? And I was talking about, going to parties and all this stuff in New York City. And she's like, if you couldn't photograph it, if you couldn't post about it on social media, would you still go to those events? And I was like, I would probably go to 10%. I wouldn't, there's 90% of them I would cut out. She's like, so cut them out. And that telling me that shifted my priority focus. And because I shifted that, because I freed up more of my time, more of my energy, you know what I was able to achieve? This YouTube career. My boyfriend at the time said the same thing. He's like, I'm sick and tired of seeing you tired from going out to events and parties and gift bags and photos. I want to see you tired from staying up late working on your channel. I was like, okay, right? But it was that capture versus experience shift, not what looks cool. What's going to look cool? What is the persona that I need to keep chasing? For Olivia Jade, it's like perfect. I don't even know what the fuck her persona is, but it's sort of Barbie-ish. It's like, I put on different outfits and then I'm a different kind of person. Versus experience. What do I actually want to experience? Because it didn't seem like it was college. I mean, it was elements of college. You want to party? Move to Ibiza. Keep your mom out of fucking prison, right? You want to go to football games? You are allowed. They're open to the public. You can just, I don't know, you can probably just go. But she wanted to look like she was part of this group. But the ins and outs of actually being part of it, doing the homework, doing the application, trying to get in, making new friends, not so appealing. I feel like I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, right? I'm trying. So let's not anymore. This has concluded the part of the video where I am trying to make excuses for her and find some sort of good in her behavior or psychological impetus. I think she just sucks. I think at the end of the day, I don't think she's a sociopath or borderline. I think she is just a run-of-the-mill asshole. Just an entitled, shallow, one-dimensional brat. And they're out there. And all I can say is, man, girl, I hope you're saving your money. Because I can't imagine where you're going to be in 15 years. And that probably seems like a million years from now. TikTok, sweetheart, it'll come. I don't understand what the impetus is for people to stick around. I don't get it. So let's talk about accountability and her lack thereof. And most importantly, how do we know if someone has changed? Because we encounter this all the time. Not with like celebrities on the internet. I'm going to do a whole video on why we all need to stop expecting celebrities to apologize and asking for it, because it is ridiculous power-seeking behavior. If you would like to jump straight into that, go check me out on the Politically Incorrect podcast. That's Politically Incorrect. You can find him, Jacques, he's adorable, at Pop Inc. Pod on Instagram. I did a podcast interview with him. We talked all about cancel culture and why Sorry, not sorry. And also why I think I'm going to be the next Real Housewife of Orange County. Okay. But people who say they've changed, we see this all the time, right? We see this all the time. Friends, I'm sorry, I was just going through something last year and I'm sorry I was a bad friend to you. Or I'm sorry I got so drunk, it won't happen again. I'm sorry. A fuck boy who comes back, I'm sorry, I don't know. How do we know if the people coming back to us are actually sorry? And all sorry is supposed to do is indicate change. But very often, if we're willing to really listen and not fill in the blanks on what they're saying with our own fantasy projection, well, I'm sure they mean this and I'm sure it's going to be different. Well, did they say that? If we're being honest and really allowing ourselves to read writing on the wall, 99 times out of 100, apology has almost no self-awareness attached to it. I've always said, I don't want to hear an I'm sorry from someone. That don't mean shit to me. That's just like the wrapping paper, right? I want to say I'm sorry. Like, okay, unwrap this, what's inside. Because what should be inside is, here's why I acted like this. Here's why I cheated on you. I don't want to hear you're sorry you cheated. I want some self-awareness. I cheated on you because I have chronic low self-esteem and I have to destroy something. I have to reject someone and ruin it before they can ruin me because my mom left my dad, whatever it might be. I don't know. But if I don't hear that, then I have absolutely no reassurance, and why would I, that things aren't going to keep happening. I'm sorry. That means nothing to me. Fucking save it. It's almost an insult. When I hear an I'm sorry without self-awareness and without a commitment to change, here's who I was when I did this. Here are the steps I have taken since then to not be that person or not react that way to that stimulus or have, my issues untangled a little bit. And here, therefore, is why going forward X, Y, and Z that I'm sorry for will no longer happen. Okay, now I'm listening. Might still not forgive you, but I'm listening, and this demonstrates some change, some meaningful change, right? So if you're getting I'm sorries without that, you better be prepared for this to happen again. You better get real cozy down here in this misery, because you're going to be back here, because it's not going to change. It's going to happen again. And we often make the mistake of leading the question. Well, why do you think you cheated on me? Why? Don't ask. Don't ask. Shallon, that's crazy. I want to know why. Of course you do. You don't just want to know why, though. You want him to know why. And you want him to be leading that conversation, because that means he cares. And that means he is growing. Growing pains. It's called that because it's painful. But if you're like, well, come on, let's sit, let's rap about it, let's get to the bottom. Why do you think that happened? You're doing the work for him. You're doing his homework for him. And how much do you think someone learns when someone else is doing their homework? Not at all, right? You are Lori Laughlining his emotional college application. Ah! Do you see how this all kind of ties together? If we lead this man, this friend, this parent, this whoever to the water and try to force them to drink, how do we think anything's going to be different? But we do think that because we're getting sort of answers and we're like, good, we're making progress. No, you're not. No, you're making fantasies. You're making fantasies, but you're not making progress. So unfortunately, it comes back to an extremely simple question. How do you know if they've changed? Have they even said that they have? I have spent so many years of my life apologizing for men who didn't even have the decency or interest to apologize for themselves. That is a really ugly truth, right? Oh, he's this, he's messed up over his last girlfriend, he's tired, he's stressed, he's sorry, he's addicted to cocaine. Is he saying that? Did he even care enough to come up with that story to keep you on the hook? No, you kept yourself on the hook. You're like, it's fine. And let me tell you, few things do more damage to your self-esteem than that, honestly. You feel, whether or not you've connected to it or admitted, you're ashamed of yourself. And you know that the end is coming. That train is going to come on by and it's going to flatten you out. And isn't it easier, just from the beginning, to hear what's true? I talk to you guys all the time, and I've said this before. It never comes down to, and I mean never, I just didn't know. I didn't know this is who he was. I didn't know this was the deal. It always comes down to, I knew, and I chose to ignore it. I filled in the gaps for his bullshit. Well, I'm sorry. Oh, well, here's what he actually means. I don't know why I cheated on you. Well, let me psychoanalyze you. Let me not psychoanalyze myself for why the hell I would stay with the cheater who is only, he's sorry, but he's not self-aware at all. No. Let's not look at what I'm doing wrong here. Let's focus on him, because that seems easier and less painful than pulling out my own psychological splinter. Right? So if you have to ask yourself, has someone changed? No, they haven't. Change is a long-term thing. And this is what I talked about this in the popping pod thing about cancel culture. It's like, people want an apology. What people ostensibly want is change. They want to see change from someone who's fucked up, done weird blackface, whatever it might be. Okay, if you look at their behavior now, do they still do that? Are they still doing blackface skits? No? Okay, then change has been executed. Change has been exacted. You're good. So when people say no, but they haven't apologized. See, here's where you lost me. You're actually a loser wanting power over someone else. So you're nitpicking and going back in time and mining whatever you can to try to get someone higher up on the food chain to look at you. No. But that's not what we're talking about. But my point is, change is not words, it's actions. So a guy could say, yes, I've changed and it's all going to be different, blah, blah, blah. Gonna be? Don't come to me when it's a gonna be. Come to me when it is. Come over to my house. I'll show you how clean it is. You know why it's clean? I'm not drinking anymore. I'm up at 7 on the weekends. I'm going to church. I'm going to AA. I'm washing my truck. I'm walking the dog. My whole life speaks to the difference I have made. And therefore, when I say I'm sorry, I have this entire 360 universe of change and new behaviors to back it up. So much so, I don't even need to say I'm sorry. I don't even need to say I've changed. It's so obvious. You look at someone like Olivia Jade. How has she changed? Does she volunteer? Is she political? Does she start like a little book club of Dostoevsky? No, she's exactly the same. It's the same bullshit content. It's the same vapidity. It's the same lack of accountability. So what are people expecting? Do you think she should get a second chance? And what does second chance even mean? She still has plenty of followers, and I could see why people unfollowed her after this. That's fine. If people are still gang for her, dude, it's no skin off my back. I don't care. And it should be skin off my back. We're literally in the same field. She's my competitor. And yet, I don't care. I only care that this shit happens on such a large scale, as Olivia said, and she's probably right, that this is taking opportunities off the plate of people who have really, really worked hard. And, the rich live by different rules, and it's fucked up. And I guess all we can do is call out these injustices as we see them and fight them in our own life on the micro, stand up for ourselves, be the best we can so that we stand out from the crowd. Even if Olivia went to USC, who cares? No, she's probably never going to be poor. But you just look at her and it's like, what a silly, weird life. What a sad, silly life. I would rather have my education than her subscribers. So I bet you would too. I want to know your thoughts on this, Shalligators. I know y'all have a lot to say. And like I said, head over to Quotes by Shallon and check out her breakdown on it, because she did an amazing, amazing job. And she's reposting all of your DMs. So go check out Nicole's page. I'll see you later, Shalligators. Mwah!